What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith, and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked, and destitute of daily food,
and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone.
Someone will say, You have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without works, and I by my works will show you my faith. You believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe and shudder.
But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac, his son, on the altar?
You see that faith was active along with his works, and faith was completed by works, and the scripture was fulfilled which says, Abraham believed God, and it was reckoned to him as righteousness, and he was called the friend of God.
You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works, when she had received the messengers, and had sent them out another way.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
Yeah. Okay, so when we come to this, these verses, to this sort of passage, really, what it illustrates is a really important, how can I put it, misunderstanding about James by some Christians. There is a sort of caricature that some people make of James and Paul. And if I can put it this way, some people would sort of say, oh well, Paul thinks that being a Christian is all about faith, and James thinks that being a Christian is all about works. And so this is the kind of caricature that people try and impose upon the book of James and impose upon Paul as well. Perhaps one of the reasons is because they both use the account of Abraham offering up his son Isaac, and James and Paul seem to come to different conclusions about this, and so perhaps that's one of the reasons why people try and pigeonhole them in that kind of way. But I want to just briefly show before we go through this that it's not that James is just into works and that's it, and he just believes that works is the justifier, and faith's not important. And it's not that Paul thinks that it's just all about faith and works are not important. If you read through, I won't read through it all now, but if you read through Acts 15 verses 8 to 29, you will see that in the Council of Jerusalem, that James agrees with Peter that the Gentiles are purified in their hearts by faith. That's verse 9. They're purified by faith. And so even though they discuss other things that the Gentiles need to observe, like abstaining from fornication and so on, they're not suggesting that they are circumcised or anything like that. So James is not against faith. He's not saying, oh well, faith's not enough, that it's about works. James accepts that people's hearts are purified by faith. By the same token, Paul in Titus 1:16 says that there are people who profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. So Paul also is concerned with works, and if you look in some of the later epistles of Paul's, he talks about works and the importance of works. It's just that James and Paul lay a different emphasis on these things. In Romans, Paul is specifically dealing with faith, and here in James the Epistle of James, James is talking a lot about works, but now he turns his attention to faith, doesn't he? And so he's now starting to talk about faith. I just put that in there because sometimes people seem to have it ingrained in their minds that, oh, James, he's all about works. That's what he thinks being a Christian is. Paul, he thinks it's all about faith and he's not bothered about works. But that's not the case. These are just epistles that are exploring different aspects of what it means to be a Christian. So in verse 14, the first verse that we look at, James says something very important. He says, "What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him?" And I think one of the really important words in this verse is just that 3-letter word, the word say. Though a man say he hath faith and have not works, can that faith save him? So someone who's saying they have faith, James is saying, okay, you say you have faith, well, let's test now and see if you really do have faith. It's very easy to say, yes, I've got faith, or, yes, I am a Christian. But James is saying, look, we've got to test that now, and let's see if you really do have faith. Excuse me. So, and then he gives up this little scenario, which still, every time I read it, it kind of makes me smile. The irony of it, verse 15, "If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say to them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled," and you don't do anything about their needs. How can you say if someone is naked, oh, be warmed, and they're destitute of daily food, and you say, be filled, keep warm, enjoy your tea, and I'll see you next Sunday, is what it's saying, isn't it? And yet they have no food and they have no clothing. He's saying, what doth it profit? What's the point of that? It's so important that we don't become this silly group of people that are seemingly blind to other people's needs, and yet have this profession of faith. We're showing some kind of faith, but actually it's an empty faith. I don't know if anyone can think of anywhere else in the Bible where it explores this idea where someone is saying something or professing to be something, and yet in reality it's clear that they're not. They're professing to be something where in reality, by their actions, by what they do, it's not the case. Anybody think of anywhere particularly in the Bible where that's explored, that kind of hypocrisy? Possibly in the epistles. Possibly in the epistles of John. Unless you can think of anywhere else where that idea is explored. Okay, well, I'll take you to where the verse that came to my mind is 1 John 2. 1 John 2, verse 9. Would you read that out? I'll tell you what, verse 9 to 11. Kirsty, would you read that out, please?
He who says he is in the light and hates his brother is in darkness until now. He who loves his brother abides in the light, and there is no cause for stumbling in him. But he who hates his brother is in darkness and walks in darkness and does not know where he is going, because the darkness has blinded his eyes.
Yeah, it's talking about those who say that they're in the light, who say that they know God and that they're following God, and yet they hate the brother